Alright everyone, I'm here to give you the first Walking Dead review of the day. I hope I do a second one, but I have something to do later, so I don't know if it's going to work out. Um, this one is Season 3, Episode 14, so I'm getting to the end of Season 3 anyways. And it came out on March 17th, 2013, 2 days after my 16th birthday. And this one's called Play, which I think is a good name. I don't really care about the names, I guess. The names are just the names to me. So it starts off with it shows a flashback of Andrea and Michonne. This is in the winter time, and they're out in the woods, and Andrea makes dinner for them, and I don't know really what it was called, but it was something. And she asks about who those walkers are, like if she knew who these were, or if she's found them, she attacked them, and she doesn't want to give in. And she's like, "Do you want to talk about it?" And she's like, "You don't have to if you don't want to." And Michonne says, "These people deserve what they got because they weren't people to begin with." It's kind of how it ends there. And then we see the governor, Philip, and he has like chains, and the similar to the Michonne's walkers. And I think I don't even know. I guess he was gonna chain himself. I don't really know what this is to set up. But then it cuts to the theme song, and it cuts to the real time. And what does it show first? I don't even remember what it showed first. I think it showed. Let me see if it will tell me. So I completely forget. Oh, I know. The military people are setting up for war, and I think Andrea asked about it, and Milton's like, "We're just setting up for war," and Andrea says okay, and talks about no, and they said they're going out for a run and they're gonna set up for war. I don't really remember what he said. But then he goes in with the in the governor's place, his territory, um, and he has like a bunch of tools now that look sick, um, and Norton's like, "What is this? How is this supposed to help the town?" And he's like, "It's just my workshop." He talks about how you, how is this going to help the people? Um, and he says that how is putting Moshan in going to help these people? And Philip says it doesn't matter. I am going to help these people, and he says that he talks about how you believe these people are real walkers, right? And talks about how Moshan killed his little girl, and Milton says it doesn't matter if it's a little girl or not. It's what's done was done, and he pretty much wants him to bury the hatchet with Rick's group, and so then I guess he doesn't agree. So they're kind of butting heads. They aren't getting along right now. So Milton kind of tells Andrea that there's no deal. That she just wants him to get Rick to hand over Michonne, and whether he does or not, they're gonna kill Rick's group, and um, Andrea says she has to go warn them, but it's like you can't. It's too late. So then he shows her, I guess, and he shows how sick this guy is. He has like a chair with like handcuffs on it and stuff. It was pretty sick, and he shows how crazy this guy is. He starts whistling and he does a tape recorder, um, and says, I think I think he says that to tell his group that to leave the prison, that he'll let this go in time, but Andrea says no, I have to kill him, and Milton says you'll never get close enough. You won't without getting a bullet to the head. Sorry. But then he had come in and did the whistling stuff, and Andrea was about to shoot him in the head, but Milton protected him, called it off. And Andrea says, "You can't be protecting this guy. He doesn't care about you." And Milton says, "I knew Philip before all this happened, and I believe there's still some of that same Philip inside of him." And Andrea doesn't believe that, and she's gonna go warn people at the Rick's group about what's going on. And Milton says, I think Milton says that's not such a good idea. And Andrea says, I think it is. So I think she's going to leave for good. And she offers to have Milton go with her. And Milton says that he belongs in Woodbury. So Andrea goes to leave. But Martinez forces her to give up her gun. And Andrea says, this is all just in time. I want you to be there tomorrow when we do the handoff. We do the deal. And she agrees. But he doesn't know that she knows all about the Michonne situation and stuff. And then we see Tyrese and Sasha. They're guarding the wall. And the funny part was a walker had come up. And this time Tyrese was going to shoot it down. But he's not really a good shot. So he kept missing. And Sasha's like panicking him. It's like, you keep missing. You're wasting our ammo. No pressure. Eventually he does get it. But it was funny. He doesn't even know how to get it. And then Andrea says that, tries to make up some lie that Martinez says that there's a bunch of walkers over there and you need you guys to go get them. And, but they're not buying it. They want to hear it from Martinez. And then she gets up and says, I'm leaving. And at first they're like, I don't want to be here anymore. She tells them that the governor's not really as good of a guy as he says he is. And, and they're like, you can't leave, and she throws the knife, and she holds the knife to them and says, I'm still, you can't stop me, and she just leaves. And then he's like, I should have stopped her. And Sasha's like, what were you gonna do, shoot her? And then he kind of looks at her like, strange. So I thought that was a funny line, even though they probably think, but I guess he probably would have missed anyways. So she takes off. I guess she's gonna go to Rick's group now, and Tyrese and Sasha tell her about it, and Sasha says, why can't she just leave? She gets suspicious and say, why can't she leave? And Philip makes up a lie how they found her alone in the woods and she can't really take care of herself right now, and she looked like she could to me. She's like, well, she was just out there with two walkers and she just isn't in any condition. He makes up this lie that she can't. And then Tyrese and Sasha have to go out on a run, and Howard, they're not really sure about this governor. They're not really sure about this place, because Andrew's been saying some crazy stuff about this safe, and Howard's like, well, that's because she's crazy, and talks about how they can just move on. Howard and Tyrese get into it. Eventually, Howard says, we have a good thing going here, and I don't want you to ruin it for us. And Tyrese and him go at it, and he mentions how he saved his wife, Donna, and then they go off and say, we're not done yet, and more happens with this. And then Andrea's running off, and then she sees the governor's truck, because he went after her, and he gets pissed at Milton earlier for saying what happened with the deal and everything, and told her and let her leave, and he gets pissed at him. And yeah, so there's still teasing tension between them. So she hides in the woods, and then she's behind a tree, and a walker holds her by the tree, and a couple walkers, while she's being held back, try to come up, but she stabs them, and then breaks the other one's arm and stabs both of them. I thought that was a good scene. And then Philip just continues to chase Andrea. Eventually, he chases her into a abandoned factory, and she knocks some stuff over, so Philip hears her, so goes inside the room, and she's trying to be all quiet, but then she drops a pocket knife, and Philip tries to talk her into coming back, saying, Woodbury needs you, you're needed at Woodbury, you belong there, stuff like that, saying that you don't belong out here in the real world. Rick's group, he's just being the villain, and he continues to do that creepy whistle, which I think is really creepy, which I like that whistle that he does. And then Andrea gets stabs one of the walkers, and he hears it, and then she says, when Andrea finally decides not to come, he takes a shovel and starts breaking the windows, which was awesome. And Then and eventually Andrea starts going further away, and another walker comes and she just stabs it into like a big chain, um, and she hides behind like a crate, and Philip's about to come after her, and she gets a knife ready like she's gonna stab him, but wait the second that he went in there, but he hears something, so he goes away, so that allows Andrea to escape, and he takes out a couple walkers. I think he like hold one of them by the head, and then he stabbed him. I think he hit him with the shovel, and he actually took the shovel and stabbed one of them repeatedly. And this guy did it such villainous that he was more the villain than the Walkers were. Like the Walkers are the main villains of The Walking Dead, but he was more villainous than the Walkers were. So eventually, she tries to sneak out the door, but then eventually there's a bunch of Walkers there, so she can't leave. And then Philip finds her, and he's gonna say, "Kind of come home," and she opens the door and pretty much throws Philip to the wolves, or the Walkers, if you will. I know that's a cheesy line, but that's kind of how it was. And she sneaks out, and Philip just fighting him off. He has a gun, he shoots them, and he uses the chain that Andrea used on one of the other Walkers. And Andrea's escaping. She big boots one of the Walkers down the stairs, and she escapes. And Philip is just taking out Walkers, hitting them with the gun, shooting them, because eventually he had to hit him with the gun because he ran out of bullets. And
Good. Can you grab some groceries out of the car for me?
yeah, hold on.
Thanks, man. Your face looks better.
Yeah.
Does it feel better?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll wash it and get some stuff on it tonight. I just didn't want to do it after we shaved, put the stuff right on it, but we'll put that.
Okay. So then I think afterwards, I think this was earlier, um, Tyrese, Sasha, Howard, Martinez, and Howard's, he likes to call him his boy. I don't know why, but he does. And they find that trap with when they would put the walkers in this trap, and they find out that when they go to meet with Rick's group tomorrow, they're gonna I guess, use the walkers as bait as them. Because that's what Martinez says, and Tyrese isn't going for it. He doesn't like this. He says that they have women and children. They may be crazy, but they have women and children. They have people. So he doesn't want to go through with this, but Howard does. So then they break, and he says, "Look, if we're just going to be in the way, we'll get out of here. And we've taken care of each other before. We'll do it again." And Howard doesn't want to go through with this. He doesn't want to go out in the world again. He likes it where he is. So then Tyrese and Howard start fighting. No, Tyrese and Howard start fighting, and Tyrese is gonna throw him in the Walker's hole, which I thought was awesome. I actually thought he was gonna do it, but he doesn't do it. And then eventually, what happens is eventually later on, we see someone drive up with gasoline, and he puts the gasoline in the hole, and there was like a truck that was full of walkers, and he does that, and he lights it. We didn't see, or him or she, we didn't see who it was. And by the end, I think you pretty much know who it was. And I thought that was awesome. And somebody comes up and finds it. I think I've seen this guy before, but I never fully seen him. But someone comes up and sees what's happened and gets pissed. So I thought that was awesome. Then eventually, Andrea makes it to the prison. Rick is keeping watch. And I guess she puts her hand up so Rick can see her. But Philip grabs Andrea, and Rick doesn't really. He sees it, but he doesn't know what's going on. I guess he thought it was like a walker killing someone or something. So he just kind of does like his normal stuff. That's the only thing Rick really did the whole time. He didn't have a speaking role. He was just there. That's like the easiest payday ever. You just have to be paid to pretend to hold a gun, and yeah, he didn't have to say anything. He didn't have to do nothing. If he messed that up, then you don't deserve to be in the show. But anyhow, Philip comes back to the town and says that he didn't find Andrea. He said that he's going to go look tomorrow. And Martinez tells him that he thinks Tyrese went down there and lit the Walker place on fire. And Tyrese goes in there and they ask about what's going on with the how they're gonna bring the walkers to the to Rick's group, and Tyree says, "Oh, that was just a scare tactic. That was we were just gonna scare them. It was just a threat. We weren't really gonna do that. We were just gonna because people would get more scared of a walker on a leash than a gun to the head." And Tyrese apologizes, says he mouths off sometimes, but he really does want to be in this group. And then eventually, how Philip asks about the fire, about how where he got the gasoline, and Tyrese doesn't know what he's talking about. And then he meets Milton and asks about what happened with Andrea. Is she dead? He's like, I hope not. And he's like, you look bad. He's like, I've never felt better. And then he's like, I heard what happened with the pit. He's like, did you know? He's like, I hope you find out who did it. And then he says, I already have. And I think he thinks, and I think Milton did it because he just brought it up randomly, and I think he definitely did it. I think he doesn't want to be a part of this anymore. So I think that's awesome. And then it plays this music and cuts into the room. And we find out that Andrea's handcuffed to that chair earlier and is duct taped. And yeah, I wonder what he's gonna do to Andrea. He's probably gonna do some sick stuff to Andrea. He's probably gonna kill her. But that was the episode. I thought this was a good episode. Um, and it made the governor look more and more villainous. So I thought that was good. I'm almost done with season 3, so season 3's been really good so far, and I'm gonna try to watch another one and review it before I have to do what I have to do today. I'm gonna try to finish